For today's marketing discussion, I've got 4 questions I'd love your thoughts on. 1. If I wanted to start running ads for my business, how do you recommend starting? Can't everything be done with AI nowadays? 3. What is the difference between a brand spending $100 a day on Facebook versus $1 million a month? 4. What is the best type of ad to run right now?
This here. Okay, what was the first question? All right, so if you wanted to start running ads today for your business, what you essentially want to start with is marketing research. What are you trying to figure out in your marketing research is what is important. I'm going to assume that you already have a good product. You've done enough research to know that there's somewhat of a product market fit. The way you want to get started with running ads is figuring out the consumer's self-interest. You want to understand what your customers are actually talking about in real time. What does that mean? You want to understand what are their pain points. You want to understand what their desires are. You want to understand what are their current beliefs. What do they currently believe in? And you want to understand what are their objections. And there's numerous ways you can actually figure this out. The way I love to research this information is through forums. I love to look at Reddit forums. Reddit forums are a gold mine for consumer insights. Other sources are actually just as good, such as TikTok, looking at the comments, what people are posting about, and Instagram comments are just as good as TikTok. And then any other channel that you can think of, such as Amazon reviews, looking at your competitors, looking at their reviews, and also looking at your own brand's reviews. If you already have somewhat of an established brand, if customers have left reviews for you or left comments in your posts, you want to look at those and analyze them and try to better understand what is the customer actually talking about. That's a very common question. I hear it often, and I see a lot of ads trying to sell you a product that has something to do with AI, some sort of like marketing tool that automates everything for you through AI. The short answer to this question is no. AI cannot replace a marketing strategy. AI only helps you speed up meticulous tasks. So you can extract Amazon reviews for a specific product and then dump it into AI and help you analyze all those reviews and consolidate and find patterns. That's the one way you can actually speed things up. But you can't actually get AI to do all of the work for you. It's just bound to make mistakes. You need some sort of pilot to organize the way everything is going to be executed. And when it comes to actual creative, AI is just not at a place where you could actually replace creatives. We have AI avatars, you could generate images through AI. It currently is not at a level that I would consider being a full replacement for designers, video editors, and UGC creators. From my experience, those AI tools actually help, but a complete replacement, I haven't yet seen that happen with any brand that I've currently worked with, scaled upwards of $1 million a month. The difference between a brand spending $100 a day versus $1 million a month is actually not that different. One of the things that I can think of right off the bat is how organized you are. Having proven frameworks so you can execute and not be constrained by the methods that you're going to follow for that execution. Having some sort of formula framework for UGC, understanding what are the components of a UGC to make a successful UGC creative? Understanding that breakdown. I like to break it down in modules, and I like to mix and match different modules as I stack them up. Having a really solid naming convention so you can automate reporting and extract insights. Having a production flow that removes that extra layer of thinking so it doesn't block you when you're trying to pump out 100 creatives a week. I think that's one of the main things that differentiate an account that is spending $100 a day versus $1 million a month. It's basically systems and frameworks. The best type of ad that you can run today, it's not a specific type of ad. Honestly, I think you could run any type of ad. It could be direct to camera, like talking head. It could be literally as simple as a headline specific static ad and very simple. with a straightforward headline, direct to camera, a 15-second or 20-second video. It really doesn't matter as much what type of ad you run. What matters the most is actually the research. The messaging is what matters the most, and how well you hit the mark on that specific messaging. And how do you do that? Through consumer research. You need to figure out what people are talking about in real time, really understanding the pain points of your customers and speaking the language of your customers. Once you understand what type of messaging works, you can produce unlimited creatives. Yes, different types of formats and creative styles might do better than others. At the end of the day, if your messaging isn't on point, then no creative is actually going to work.